Welcome to the 46th episode of the Kiefcast and the first one of the year of 2024. Doing this for the first time. And boy, do we have a discussion that is very unique that I've probably already always known about, but I've never really thought about it too deeply. How we say it? It seems like the big mouse is, or at least the first version of him, is leaving Disney's grasp. He has joined what is known as the public domain, and ever since I've heard of that concept, I've been sort of fascinated of that idea. Even though, ironically enough, Walt Disney himself and the corporation's been doing it for years. And I also had Chat Bard, which is like the rival to ChatGPT, made a spreadsheet for me on the various characters that are or franchises even that decade or more in the coming years to come. That are not limited to, like, say, the likes of Superman, Blue the Dog, Donald Duck, Batman, Lupin the Third, Sailor Moon, and many plethora of characters that are probably gonna hit the public domain. Do you guys have a opinion on that? Anything?
I don't have much of an opinion on what's going on.
Yeah, you're good.
I really don't. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Carsico?
Public domain is a situation that often happens for as long as you remember. Many books that you know about, like books made by Mark Twain or even the author of The Jungle Book, those stories have been around for over a decade before we were born. And because of that, being public domain, anyone can make their own adaptation without having to credit the original copyright holders or the author themselves years after their death.
Mm-hmm. So, we'll go ahead and send this spreadsheet that Chat Bard has made, the AI. Oh, hey, Chibi. And
Hold on.
basically, what do you make of this list compiled by the AI here? That these characters are likely gonna come in soon, right after Mickey, or specifically Steamboat Mickey. Now, keep in mind that since it's extrapolated by the AI, the data set may not be accurate, but that's what it would instead of. Plus, I did a couple tweaks myself, franchises here and there, but nevertheless, yeah, the brand Japanese media too, on top of, like, U.S. media and all that stuff. At least going to the spreadsheet, I did say in the bottom, and so it's like even you guys have access to it. It's gonna be ever growing, ever growing.
I am trying to get access already.
Understand.
Yeah, you're going to have to grant
Restricted.
us
Okay,
all
okay.
access to
With
this
anyone.
man.
Okay, there we go. Copy. Frickin' I wish Google made that by default. All right. Okay. Let's try that again. Yeah, this is made by the AI, by the way. I had an AI assist to sort of compile the list, and then I added a couple more in the very bottom when I was able to look up. But this is what we're expected to see in the next more years or so, and this list will keep on expanding as we discover more characters that are going to be opened up.
Again,
Yeah, to be freaking dead.
I see it now.
Wait, what?
No, I see the list. It works.
Yeah. Again, I didn't come with these initially. The AI did, but I did come up with the last two. However, out of the things that Chet Bard was able to pick up, like any of these stand out to you that you're probably looking forward to seeing in the next few years, or even 10 years, or even like however long this list will keep on expanding. The more franchises, characters, the whole 9 yards, basically.
I'm surprised some of these are going to be made awfully early because Naruto did debut in the 90s, unless it's a situation where manga authors don't really expect right for their works.
Mm-hmm. And if the chat wants to look at that list as well, as I said, you guys can feel free to expand upon this list yourselves if you so desire.
Kiefster_Twitch says https://docs.google.com/spreadsheet/d/1joif268 chinkaflow8_4LX6xmxfopsamgu/edit.
I didn't know that would go off every time you posted something.
It's not just me. It's like anytime that anyone types in there, the text to Pete's chat will go.
This is why I'm not typing.
wait, Tolkien's The Hobbit novel will enter in 2043 at best.
Yeah. Again, it's like an estimate that the AI came up with, so it may not be 110% accurate, but
Even so, I have this weird feeling that what happened with Steamboat Mickey, with like someone announcing a horror film for it, they're gonna do the same thing to Pluto and Donald, and I'm just laughing at the prospect of them doing that.
Oh god, yeah. Oh my god, that is gotta be hilarious. Like, I'm actually very much looking forward to once they get to like the freaking superheroes, like freaking Superman and Batman, and like, mind you, they're gonna obviously use the first iterations of them, so it's like when we get to Superman, he's not gonna be able to do all that crazy shit that he did to Goku. He can only jump up, he can only jump very high, and Batman does not have his usual people that he's sort of like no Alfred, no Robin, none of the things that he's basically known for in the modern times, basically. So
It would be kind of nice to have. It would actually be kind of nice of having Superman get knocked down a few pegs once he enters public domain, because that means we can actually put genuine limitations on him, so he's not giving like a million and one different abilities because of all these different alternate universes and all these multiple writers.
Yep, I definitely agree with that. Um, gonna say. So it's like let's just pick a character or even a franchise that you like, or just literally anything, and just pretend that it's the year that it actually is gonna happen. Like, have fun with this. Like, how would you, the person in the public that now has free access to any of these franchises, characters, or what have you, how would you reimagine them in a very basic way, like just to start an idea, just to plant the seeds of the idea. Any of
I'm
you?
not allowed to save mine. I'm not allowed to save mine.
Oh, that stinks.
It's 18 plus. That's why.
She could probably tell us
YouTube
like
does
off.
not like 18 plus.
You can probably tell us
That
like
is
off.
true.
You can probably
You
tell us
will
like
be
off.
demonetized. This is Switch after all.
Yeah, you can probably
He's
tell us off
uploading this
stream.
to YouTube next, and I don't want this being on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's just say. Okay.
We all know it's Persona 5, so
Yeah.
do with that what you will.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, in your case, Tessa, let's say Doctor Who, like any of the doctors hit that particular thing. What can be done with, let's say, the
I
very first
think
Doctor?
some of the doctors are actually public domain today.
Hmm.
I at least think the first two might. But I have to double check that later.
Okay, I'm actually gonna look this up. Made in 1963. 1963 UK. Hmm. Yeah.
Because I don't know though.
Okay.
63. Maybe the first one, maybe pushing the second one, but
Yeah. Let me just ask this very simply. Like, if there, would you want to like make an alteration or like a add a thing to it when before like not it's not that what is already known already, or would you just keep it
yeah,
as
I
is?
would do the 10th Doctor and Joker to give at least Joker a weakness
Uh-huh.
from Persona 5 because every time I go through some type of situation, I just like, yeah, Joker's not going to die in this situation.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's just say Chibi, out of all these franchises, or even the ones not even listed, let's just say you had the reins to any of these that's listed, plus whatever you can think of. What would you do with the powers that be? You have the say of any of these franchises. It's under your control now. What will you do?
The problem is that I kind of have three that kind of hit me during the discussion when you first popped the question. It was like mostly like silly stuff of like Tom and Jerry, the Eds, but I honestly want to go with my third option, which would be the Kingdom Hearts brand,
Mm-hmm.
because honestly, I would love to actually see that what if scenario if, depending on the powers that be on how things are going with Warner, knock on wood,
Mm-hmm.
um, it would be kind of funny if actually seeing Sora traverse alongside like Yakko and Daffy Duck or even Bugs Bunny to deal with the conflict that plagues the series.
Oh wow, that would be very fun to imagine.
Yeah, because like seeing the fan art of people actually making that, where it was like Yakko, Warner of the Warner siblings of Animaniacs, and Donald Duck. When it came to like Daffy pronouncing Sephiroth's name, I'm like, honestly, that would be, I think, 20 times more entertaining, and I think it would actually help bring some lighthearted comedy more into the series, at least in a way where it doesn't feel as constricting for what Disney kind of did. Because and don't quote me on this,
Uh-huh.
but some of the translated dubbing for Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't jive very well for some people.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly, one of the reasons behind it is Nomura was already being pulled to multiple other projects, so the translation didn't actually fall through into a way of how people know his writing style to be. So it kind of felt off with how certain characters were conveying or talking about certain things regarding to the plot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of the other. I think that's kind of like one series I feel like I could probably play around with a little bit and give it more time to cross over with stuff that aren't just tied to being exclusively Disney.
Yeah. What about you, Kai? Any of these that's listed by AI Bart or that's not even listed that you would want to have you want to have like a chance to play around with? Now, you don't even have to take to account like when they'll actually be realistically because yeah, odds are a lot of these won't be around when we're around, but let's just say for some reason copyright laws just change on a dime and either certain companies go bankrupt where it's like even easier for them to enter the domain. Like, which one of these would you want to have at your whimsical either way?
Well, there's that really fine. And honestly, I'm not going to break up the video game related ones because realistically, those copyrights are going to stay just as they are instead of being short as a manga sort of copyrights.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one I can really come to mind. Like, say, for example, I have free grades over, say, the One Piece, and if there's any change I would make, say for example, the One Piece is actually found and Luffy does become king of the pirates. One idea I would have is that they could have a series that focus on the children or the descendants of the original Straw Hat crew and the other existing pirate crew, and they go from there to look for another rare treasure that's in the One Piece world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I honestly have no idea what I bring a change in the current franchise because I like so many. But if I have to really think about a franchise or series, I'd probably want. I think as a kid, I always wanted to do something with Star Wars. I always had like an idea where it would have gone past Episode 6, Path of Return of the Jedi. I don't like the direction where Disney went with it, and I would have probably at least pitched my idea to like any prospective, producer that wants to, help me make that happen. But maybe put some actually make the EU and the EU instead of the Disney stupid stuff. No offense to anyone that likes Star Wars Disney, but and it disappointed me, like the whole thing. Like, sorry, no. uh, mm, yeah, pretty much that. uh, see. Yeah. Um. Yeah, it's just like when you really think about it, the concept public domain has existed for a while, and actually, most of us that are exposed to like books and stuff like ironically enough, Disney himself and also the corporation has done this without us really realizing as kids, like, oh, Cinderella and Snow White, all those princesses that you see are actually a part of were actually like public domain even back then, way back then. And then Disney went ahead and did their own spin on it. So it's quite ironic that now Steamboat Willie being the first of from actual Walt Disney that's actually getting the us to, in a word, toy with in a way. It's just quite fascinating to think about if you want to put to perspective like that. If anyone wants to chime in 2 cents or so about now we're getting to the modern characters starting 19th century.
Well,
Yeah,
my only. Oh, go on ahead, Kai. Okay.
that's very true. Literature always been public domain because people have been writing for centuries. Animation was considered a new thing in the early 1920s or even 10s that have been going on for years. So for the first animated work to actually go public domain like Steamboat Willie, the possibilities for as other anime characters in the future. And that's not getting to Japanese manga either. Video games, that's going to take even longer if we'll live to see that day.
Yeah. What also is just interesting with Steamboat Steamboat Willie, Mickey, now being a part of like video games, novels, even cartoons, even other companies, literally can just insert him. Well, of course, with the proper permissions and the proper trademarks, to this particular version of Mickey Mouse. Like, it's interesting to think that this we're gonna probably get used to seeing this version of Mickey just traversing it in other like stuff. And it's a bigger deal because, yeah, Winnie the Pooh is cool and all that. It's funny just to see that they made a slasher out of that. But regardless of how you think about it, Mickey is the whole name, and it's like now we get to envision him being part of it. And then now, just a few years, the rest of the OG Disney crew is going to join that, and then a little bit later, like some superheroes will join that as well. It's like if like the way I'm thinking about this, like if you want to actually make legit Mugen, and I'm saying this kind of loosely, like the fighting game engine, like this is now you could probably do it like legally now, given the next few years or so.
So long as Disney doesn't try to act all like crybaby helicopter mom over the entire situation again.
Oh yeah, certainly not.
I hadn't had the chance to the video that you shared earlier. I hadn't had the chance to watch it yet, but just the title alone, it's like, dear God, you are such a tiger mom, Disney.
Yeah, like I knew that they were getting claimed on certain content creators that used to use the Steamboat Willie, you know, video straight up. Personally, if it were up to me, I'm kind of against like straight up uploading. Like if you want to reproduce it, have that watch, that's fine. But just out of a good habit, it may be a good idea to just put it under Disney's copyright, even though it's under public domain. It's better to be safe than sorry. But at the same time, Disney should just understand that like they don't really have it anymore. They chose to just not fight for it now. If they really wanted to keep it, they should have fought for it. Now it's ours. He's ours. That version of Mickey, that at least.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people probably would have wanted modern Mickey more than his steamboat self, but baby steps. We'll get there, people.
Yeah. Uh. Yeah. The thing that actually interests me, that caught my eye when I was watching our video. So obviously you guys know, like with Sherlock Holmes, Arsene Lupin, uh, would be in domain is already in domain like the original, and his grandson Arsene Lupin III will probably join that in a good number of years because the author Monkey Punch passed away. Uh, and I found out like, oh yeah, that's true, huh? And then I was like, yeah, that's very interesting, cool. Um, and that is a little bit true because you do see like Sherlock in a lot of obviously a lot of like modern media right now, considering the time frame that was written and made. Um, yeah, I thought that was also pretty cool based on some videos that I watched as well. Mm,
Yep, some of the early anime characters are about to be fair game eventually within several decades.
mm-hmm. Let's see. Also got me to realize, and Tessa might be like kind of weird out when she gets to this, but like, oh man, I cannot imagine Pokemon, hitting that because more than likely, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, would when the first like character per se that they're gonna probably put in that is like Pikachu, or is there some other Pokemon that's a lot more iconic than it? I'm pretty sure it's Pikachu that they would do
It's
first.
Pikachu and Ash are the two main iconic two Pokemon. So
Yep.
I've already seen some disturbing things. I am not looking forward to seeing when that gets into public hands.
Yeah.
If you want a palate cleanser, if you want a palate cleanser, I've been thinking of Kingdom Hearts crossover with Pokemon, but like I had like two different story concepts. But the one that I'm thinking about that I think might a bit of a palate cleanser was Thor traveling Unova with his own team.
Oh yeah, that actually sounds pretty decent.
Actually, yeah, you can technically use Hercules and all those mythological characters into like if you wanted your own Pokemon fan fiction or whatever. There's no one stopping you from doing that, or even putting Arsene Lupin or Sherlock in there, or
Oh
some other
god,
right.
all the crossovers.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like Pokemon and Kingdom Hearts is like one of those big crossovers I'd kill to see happen in the future, but I know it can never happen, and it's probably for the best until public domain happens for those two.
One and Disney go hand in hand. They are.
Yeah, Disney is like one entity that's like probably relentless. We don't know how the other entities are gonna also act up when it's their time to come, basically.
Going back
I
to the subject
discovered.
of Pokemon, oh,
Yeah, just stay away from Twitter X when they become public domain for the first day. Please.
Yeah.
I love
Now that I
it
think about it, like
when
now that I think about it, this also applies to, and I know this is quite obvious. This also applies to like real people that are put into fictional works. Like, say, for example, God forbid, so and so character that's like infamous. I'm not gonna say it here, and then some people that are a lot more well respected in history books as well.
oh god,
Yeah,
no,
but
just no.
I'll leave it at that. um, yeah. Oh, so anyone, you guys want to throw like a curveball at any of us, like in terms of any of these
Kofi
ideas?
Streambot says visit Kiefster_Twitch's KO5 page at https://ko5.com/Kiefster, ref equals Twitch.
Well, as I was saying in regards to Pokemon, Ash would be public domain after Red, or pretty much the actual protagonist who used in Red and Blue, or Red and Green if we were to be technical to the Japanese version. That's
Yeah, and I believe in Japanese laws with copyright domains, they're probably going to get to it a little bit faster than us because of the sheer fact that they're going by like 70, 75 years, I believe, like 70 something years or so, like less than the United States basically, because we keep on amending those laws and all that.
Speaking of Pokemon, there's Pokemon on your stream. That is the third time I've seen it.
Hi, if that case, what you say is true, and if we were to go by that,
Let me actually double check that. I don't want to misinform. What are Japanese?
Well, I also just looked up Doctor Who. Apparently, it's 70 years until it goes to the public domain, but the characters are still like the main character, which is the Doctor, is safe because they keep on putting them into the series. Um, I'm going to be 65 when that gets to the public domain.
so Pac-Man would be public domain in 2050 if we were to go by these Japanese rules. And he's one of the earliest video game characters.
Yeah, definitely will expect to see Pac-Man. Okay, let me just do this basic.
For that.
Yeah.
Curiosity, I was trying to check Final Fantasy, but I couldn't. Like, the first few links didn't show me anything. Like, Google didn't even answer my question. I was just curious as to what happens when that comes in public domain.
No.
Yeah, and then there's also like games where it's like, especially if the characters are self-insert, like, obviously joking and all that, like, people can go off the walls. Now, if that happens, like, you know, the sky's the limit. If that's the case.
Yes, infinite possibilities through Final Fantasy. It is supposed to be like a fantasy setting with some sci-fi elements. I think for most of the time. Again, it just depends on the entries, honestly.
Yeah.
Mario will be public domain by 2051, while him, Pauline, and I guess Donkey Kong, or we can argue young Frankie.
Yep. And according to by 2040-ish, I think that sounds like my parents might have a kick out of this. James Bond 007 will probably be a part of that around the same time that basically Superman and Batman will have theirs in that same year, couple of years or so. And
Luigi will be public domain at 2053.
wow.
Then that means 2055. That will open the door to Toad, Bowser, Peach, or any of most of the original classic Mario movies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh darn! I thought Daisy would be part of that. That would have been fun, having her part of public domain with them.
Yeah.
Actually, let me see. Super Mario Land that came out in 1989. So let me pull up the calculator. She won't be public domain until 2059, so it's going to be a long wait.
Yeah, we're gonna be in our 60s or older.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like any like the cool RPG characters that we love, we're probably gonna be long gone.
Exactly.
That'll
Unless,
suck. That's
and
gonna suck so much.
I'm saying this a big unless laws would have to change, and if and we also have to also remember by the time we hit our senior citizens, it'll be our generation that leads the government, and who knows, like by that point the copyright laws might change like in our favor. It could. I'm not saying it will, but it could.
What are you assuming? We're gonna take over the government at our old age? We should just sit around and yell at kids all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
In 2064, that'll be the year the likes of Wario, Kirby, and King Dedede will be public domain.
Wow.
Uh,
No, just imagine like okay, I'm just gonna name a franchise since you're kind of like searching. It's not on our list yet, and we'll come up with like some fun scenarios. So let's say I don't know, Ryu from Street Fighter. What does his thing look like? Pretty sure it came out in like 90 something or 78, be mistaken.
1987, actually. In fact, I'll take a look.
Okay, that's probably more accurate.
Early Street Fighter characters like Ham, Ken, and Eagle will be public domain in 2057.
Wow.
Gonna make me feel old. This is making me feel old.
Yeah.
we all feel old.
Yeah, we all do.
Meanwhile, the Street Fighter 2 cast, the most popular characters, won't be public domain until 2061.
Oof.
What about
Lame.
let's say okay. Okay, I'm just gonna name franchise because speaking it's gonna take a lot of time. The Telltale franchise. What about that?
Um,
Alright, so Tales of Fantasia came out in 1995. So with that in mind, it won't be public domain until 2065. And that was just me, Cress, Alpha, and the original cast, not the other more Tales for Tank.
Yeah. Say like for first person shooter. Earlier
Doom.
he would be
That's literally the name.
yeah.
It's Doom.
Yeah.
Um,
Alright, I'll take a look. Alright. That's easy. It's pretty much going to be public domain in 2063 as far as the first Doom game.
Mm-hmm.
anything with we're going to be old.
Yeah.
All of our favorite franchises will be out when we're all grandpas and grandmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, like chat, if there's a suggestion you guys want to give out, go ahead to type it in the chat. Text to speech will read it out loud though too. So, but yeah, essentially around this year, our grandparents or people in our grandparents' generations, we're essentially experiencing their characters right now in their time. So
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
I got good news. As far as the first video game character, the Space Invaders, they will be public domain in 2048, which is not too
Oh,
long from now.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. We're going to be in our 50s.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, you're just stating the truth. You're just stating the
It is the
truth.
truth. The truth is not always
So how about
pretty.
that horror movie with the Space Invaders? Just kidding.
Oh, please don't give him any ideas. Don't give him
Don't
ideas.
give
They do
anybody
a
ideas.
slasher out of that. That'd be
You
weird.
saw what they did to Winnie.
No, what's gonna
Wait,
terrify me when they get to
yes,
Popeye, right?
no.
When they get to Popeye, how the heck will a slasher work out of that? That'd be weird.
They already made a shitty PS2 reboot with the Space Invaders on the ground, so anything
Yo,
is
yo, guy,
possible.
like with Popeye the Sailor Man, man, I cannot imagine them making a slasher out of that.
Oh, they're going to keep.
Oh, they
They're
will.
going to.
The
He's
Sea
gonna
Hag
kill
made the
people by drowning them in spinach.
slasher.
Actually, yeah. Hey Kai, can you do like an abridged like Popeye impressions? Your take of a Popeye slasher? Go for it. Let's hear it.
In the year 2060, everyone would soon realize that spinach is not good for you. Too much iron intake. So they place a ban on spinach and want to get rid of it all. But one man disagrees, and that will be Popeye. He will be slowly killing anyone who agrees with the spinach ban and force them to eat spinach, even against their will.
And let's see. Uh, okay, have another.
Wait, hold on. I know we got. I know that we already discussed about Steamboat Willie coming out to put doing us. Where does that leave Snow White? Is she already in it out, or is she one of
I
the
know
people's
Alice is in
fathers?
the public domain. Alice in Wonderland is in the public domain. That does.
Do you mean the Disney version in that case? Because the first movie did not really come out until
Yeah,
1937.
the
So you have
Disney
another
version
decade to
is
wait.
1937,
Yeah, just one more decade and she will be free to use.
but in terms of like the OG, the very true first version, in 1812. So Snow White in general, go ham. Snow White Disney version, gotta wait a little bit longer.
Yep.
Such a shame because honestly, if it were sooner or if it came out the same time as Steamboat, I'm sure a lot of people, minus those that want to make it a horror movie, like everything else, would probably do a better job than what their live action one
Like,
turned
we can
out.
even go just beyond just horror slashers. People can legit make an anime out of, God forbid, Steamboat Willie or any of these characters they want to.
Yeah, everyone's sleeping on the anime potential of those. I would like to see that played around with more.
Yeah. Uh,
Because, like, if someone could do an anime Bob parody with, like, some JoJo influence, what's stopping people from now thinking of something as ridiculous as that, but with Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse?
yeah.
Steamboat Willie Mouse
Heck, if
happiness.
Square Enix wants to use a version of Mickey besides obviously having a good relationship with modern Disney. They could honestly use Steamboat without any repercussions technically.
I'm not sure if you know, but they already had a world based on that. It was called the Timeless River and the second Kingdom Hearts game.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's
yeah,
true, isn't it?
yeah. I forgot. I almost forgot about that.
But now they don't have to worry if they're bringing that, reintroducing or bringing that back. uh,
Hmm.
let's see here. Uh, let's see. I'm not gonna do this. Hmm.
There's not much to talk about.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm trying to think of more stuff to
yeah.
talk.
Let's see. Based on what the AI fed me, like they spat out some interesting choices. Like, okay, I'm just gonna name off the list of what it fed me. So Superman, obviously, Pluto the dog, um, Donald Duck, obviously, Batman, obviously, Blue Blonde the third, Doraemon, Akira, Astro Boy, Ghost in the Shell, Sailor Moon, The Hobbit, Attack on Titan. I guess it doesn't really care about the order. So James Bond, Neon Genesis, Evangelion, Peter Pan, Full Metal, Wizard of Oz, Death Note, Rocky, and Walensky,
Bullwinkle.
Bullwinkle. Naruto, Bambi, Bleach,
And Tolkien.
and Tom Sawyer, and One Piece. Uh, and of course, you guys are more than welcome to expand upon this list. The chronology or when it came out or sequential order doesn't matter. We're just gonna just put this out there just in case. And then if any prosthetic or any aspiring creative creators want to like go, get access to this list, I'm gonna post this on my YouTube when the time comes, and want to make a banger, or at least pre-prepare to make a banger because keep in mind of when this is gonna happen, you'll have a frame of reference of many. Because before I was making this podcast, I was trying to see if there's like a spreadsheet of sorts, and I found a video that had one, but they didn't have the link available to it. So I was like, I didn't have the time to really thought about making myself. So I asked the AI to make a list work off of, and we could expand it over time basically. But yeah, I think this has been quite the interesting, fruitful discussions on the concept of public domain so far. So before we close off, you guys have any final thoughts on just this very idea alone? Like anyone can go.
Just expect a horror movie out of anything that comes in the public.
Yeah. All right.
Don't come crying when you see horror movies based on Space Invaders, Pac-Man, and Game of Watch sound.
Well, I argue like some of those might not be around. Will be pretty old when even some of those are hit. The public domain. TV. Any final thoughts on this very concept?
Don't be afraid to go buck wild with some crazy crossover crack shit. That's all I can say.
Yeah, go wild. Like this is just yet another layer of creativity and The great thing about the concept of a public domain is it's legal. You technically are not bound by the copyright or the legal, basically, jargon of abiding, by the rules. You can actually go ham, but you might have to keep in mind on the usage of the trademark in case, say, God forbid, Disney go after you for any reason, or any intellectual corporation goes after you for trying to claim their character when in reality they'll eventually hit we'll eventually get for basically these characters will become ours one day to use. So go for it. When I say go for it, just go in. Like, have your imagination go many places and further beyond. That's all I can say about that. Kai, last words, unless you really want.
Stay safe in the snow.
Yep. All right. Take care. Y'all are names, and I'll see you guys in the next stream and what have you. Take care.